Hey everybody, I am Marc.
And I'm Sid.
And we are the Raphaels.
Yeah. So today we're doing things a little different.
Yeah.
Because Marc's feeling a little weird, as you can hear his voice.
It's bad.
And that's why you guys are so up close, and this is just going to be an intimate conversation.
Yeah. Super intimate.
Yeah.
We're family.
Yeah. All right. So today we are going to get into something a little different. We're just going to get into some marriage topics, kind of some debates. I'm going to choose a topic, Marc's going to choose a topic, and we're just going to chop it up.
That's it. Nice and easy. Nothing crazy.
Yeah. So you want to start?
Yeah, so my topic is something that I think a lot of marriages, I'm sure, talk about and go through. And it essentially is just compromise. What is something that you realize that you have to give up, or something that you have to do even though you really don't like doing it? And what does that look like? Do you feel the need to let your person know that you hate doing it and that you're doing it just to make them happy? And is that productive for the relationship, or is that, detrimental? So I guess my topic is more or less just compromise.
All right.
Yeah.
So what's your stance? What's your stance on compromise?
So I think it's definitely necessary. In fact, I would say that without it, you can't have a successful marriage. I think in getting married to someone, you are combining a life with someone that is different, that has different likes and interests, and not everything is just going to fit perfectly all the time. So I think compromise is 100% necessary in order to have a good marriage. For
sure. Absolutely. I think that, of course, it's essential, and I think it's at the core of marriage and relationships in general, just because we are two different people.
Yeah.
And I think where a lot of people go wrong is their attitude behind compromise. If that makes sense.
Tell me more.
Yeah. So, of course, compromise it's at the core of relationships. And it's very necessary and something that you have to do in order for both parties to be happy, in order to maintain the relationship. But I think it's a lot harder for both people when you go into compromise with a mindset of, like, I shouldn't have to do this. I don't want to do this. I'm only doing this for you. I think that's not a good mindset.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that if you go into it with, I want to be a good partner, so I don't have an issue with this. I understand that I'll have to give up this, but I know that you'll have to give up something, down the road.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds great. It's just sounds fairy tale-ish.
Really?
I mean, yeah, of course you want to go into it with that mindset. But I think real life kicks in, and if you're not being so super intentional in every second of your marriage, then when you ask somebody to do something that they don't want to do, initially I think the response might not be so, oh, well, I have to do this, or I want to do this because down the road they're going to do something for me.
I mean, you're saying it kind of like it's transactional.
And I am too like that.
And it's not. I think you have to understand that it's not transactional. I know I said that and it kind of sounded that way when I said it too, but it's just an acceptance that this is a part of marriage. This is a part of life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it helps not only the marriage, because when you help your spouse, you're helping yourself.
Yeah, and I think that's just something you have to come to grips with and to terms with and understand. Really, you should understand that before marriage. But I think once you're married, things just kind of evolve and turn into something that you could have never expected or understood until you said I do, and you got in some real time with that person. So I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I think it just, when it comes, you have to be very selfless, right? And like you said, it's not transactional. It's not, I did this, so
you do this for
you
me
do
now.
this for me, right? Like whether you do anything for me or not, when I need to compromise for you, that's just something I need to do without looking for you to do it in return, right? Now, granted, I think in order to have a healthy situation, it should be reciprocation.
Oh, for sure.
Like, that should definitely be something that happens. And if it's not, then we should definitely have a conversation about it. That doesn't have to be like, hey, I did this, and this, but more like, hey, I would really appreciate if you did this, and this.
Yeah. And that's so interesting because as you're talking, I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, well, yeah, reciprocation is not the same as transactional.
Right.
But like on the surface, they are the same thing. Yeah, I think the difference is with reciprocation, there's love behind it. And it's not just because you did this, I'm doing this. I'm doing this because you're my partner.
Yeah.
And we're in relationship together. And I know that this helps not just you, but it helps us together.
No, for sure. I'm with that. I think I've definitely struggled with compromise. Like, that is not something that came easy to me or comes easy to me now. Like, as much as I love Sid, right, in marriage, there are things I just truly don't enjoy doing. Like, I don't like it at all. And knowing that this is something I should do and just doing it without, a grudge or anything, just being selfless, it's still a journey. It's still a journey for me. And we're almost 5 years in.
Mm-hmm.
But every day, just got to push harder and do more and be better. So compromise is huge, and still something I'm working on.
Yeah.
Every day. Every day.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a big deal. It's a big deal, probably for everyone. But again, I think that for me, I don't know. Do you think I have a hard time compromising?
Nah, I think for you, I don't want to say it comes easy, but I think you're very intentional.
Yeah.
When it comes to marriage, not roles, but just what marriage encompasses. I think you were very big on doing your part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely true. And I think also, like I said before, I go into it with the mindset of this is just necessary.
Right.
And I've never had an issue with things that I know to be necessary. Like I know challenging that and fighting that, no good. Like it's no good. So just accepting that it makes it so much easier. So much easier. And I don't view it as a negative thing. I don't view it as, oh, this is something I don't want to do, or this is something that I don't want to happen. I just view it as, oh, this is something that you need to do. This is something that Mark wants to do.
That's dope.
I don't usually see it as me not wanting to do something.
I appreciate that. Nice. All right, well, that's compromise.
Yeah.
We handled that. All right, so what do you have?
So, my topic is something I have seen widely debated. And I don't actually know your stance on it, but I know mine. And that is flirting okay in marriage? Flirting with other people outside of your marriage, is that an okay thing?
No.
No. Is this a new answer?
No.
It's not?
I mean, no.
Okay.
Not.
I'm surprised.
Really?
Yes. You didn't think that was okay before?
Not okay in like it's harmless type situation.
Right, that's what I mean. Like if you're doing like harmless flirting.
I don't think there's a such thing as harmless flirting in a marriage.
Interesting.
Yeah, I just don't know what the end goal of that would be. I mean, I'm sure it could be fun.
Right.
And in the moment. But for me personally, like, that's not a door that I can open because just not enough trust in myself at this point to just let that be a door. You know what I'm saying? That's just creaked open. So I can't even play that game.
Yeah.
So that's why, for me, I would say that that's completely off limits. And I'm trying to think of how it would not be off limits for anyone else, but I'm not seeing any situation in which that would be like, oh, that was just flirting.
Yeah,
It's
so
cool.
definitely it's a thing. There are absolutely people that believe that flirting is okay, that there is a such thing as harmless flirting, that it's fun. I don't know. I don't know. I don't get that. I think though before we were married, I probably did have that school of thought. Like it's not, it's not a big deal to flirt with somebody. But after we got married, I was like, nope. why would I want to do that?
Yeah. I'm really trying to like rack my brain about in what situation
Because
that
what's
would
the
make
point?
sense. That's what I'm like. For me, flirting, there would be an end goal.
An end goal, yeah.
Right? Like I've never been the type to want to waste a moment or a flirt. That's just I'm just not playing that game, right? Yeah. So if I'm approaching somebody, or not even approaching, we're just communicating, and I'm flirting. The end goal is like your number.
Yeah.
Take you out. See you later. Something along those lines. So if I'm married and doing that with somebody else, I don't know. Maybe like an ego boost. Or like something like that.
It's like I honestly feel like getting an ego boost, which obviously, like, if that is your thing and you really need that for whatever reason, you need the attention, you need an ego boost from a different person, then that's what it is. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. So like, I've had my struggles in marriage. So I think at some point I was a person who didn't necessarily need attention, right? But I thought that the attention was better outside than it was inside. It felt different, like, oh, that was real attention because you're married to me. So you be lying. Like, nigga, I don't look good. Why are you saying that?
Oh, interesting.
So it might be something like that people are like holding on to.
Yeah.
But that's dangerous. And it's not really a game I think that people should play.
Yeah. Now, what if your spouse doesn't mind?
If my spouse doesn't mind if I'm flirting with other people?
Yeah.
I mean, are you asking me personally?
Not you personally. No, not you personally, because I know your answer personally, but just for another married couple.
So I used to want to appeal to everybody, right? And like make everything I'm saying relatable to everybody's walk of life and how they do things. But I just realized, like, I'm a Christian and I'm pretty happy in my Christian walk and how I view marriage.
Yeah.
So in regards to that, like, I just don't think that you should invite any type of temptation into your union, regardless of how your spouse feels about it. Because I just think that that's a fire you don't need to play with.
Yeah, and I feel like it's almost even more inviting of the fire because your spouse is okay with it. Now it's like I can do it whenever I want. And then the more you start doing things, the more comfortable you get with it. And that's how you start slipping.
Yeah.
So let's look at what some other people have to say about it.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay. So this person said, it's absolutely fine if you have a good understanding with your partner. Post-marriage life can be depressing and stressful. Some women lose confidence, see, there we go, as they don't spend time for themselves to pamper. Flirting would boost the confidence of such people, give a tinge of fun in this monotonous and stressful life. It's all good till you share an understanding relationship with your partner, but there shouldn't be any secrets and define your limits. That's the only formula.
Again, right? So I struggle with like jumping into other people's marriages, right? Like,
yeah, for sure.
I think that how you choose to run your household is completely on you. I can only speak for me and us, and from a Christian point of view, I feel like, again, I just can't play with the fire. Like, I don't really need or want the attention from another woman, right? And I feel like if you need that from another man, then I'm probably lacking.
Well, I mean, right, definitely. Now, this person says life can get depressing and stressful. So for me, it's just like, why is you flirting helping with your depression and stress?
Well, like, it's not, right? Like, again,
Yeah.
when you're in something like that and you're playing a game and you're sad, you know, like, it's a high. You know, like, it's a temporary fix for a situation that you're in. And it's not, like, sustainable.
Yeah.
And it won't last. So it's really not even worth it.
Yeah. As far as it being a confidence boost, I don't know. I've never had an issue with like a lack of confidence. So I don't know. I guess I really can't say like speak to that because if you're not getting your confidence from within, then what are you doing? Like another man flirting with me or me flirting with another man is not going to boost my confidence. But that's because I'm not lacking it. So
yeah, but then there are people who are lacking confidence, right? And I don't think that I can necessarily build your confidence, but I can definitely make sure you know how I feel about you.
Right. It's the confidence that you love me.
Yeah.
Confidence that you think I'm attractive.
Exactly. And
that's valuable. That means
definitely.
a lot in marriage.
Definitely. And I think that you need to communicate with your person and figure out like what they need and how they need it and how much they need it, you know, so that you can fill the gaps as much as you can. So that there aren't so many deficits. Because I think in-house is the best way to handle that. Like,
yeah.
Again, I understand that every marriage is different and people want to run their homes the way they want to run them.
Yeah. And so, but also when we say that, like, yes, every marriage is different, but there are specific godly principles that apply to every marriage. That's godly. Because again, like we said before, there are marriages that aren't godly. Like they don't care. They're not religious, not spiritual, don't care about God or being a godly marriage. And that's not what we're talking about.
Yeah, not really appealing.
Yeah, that's not what we're talking about.
Yeah. I mean, I love you.
Right.
If that's not, you know.
And your marriage is still valid.
Yeah, it's definitely valid. But if like you're not abiding or conducting your marriage on the baseline of Christianity, then I guess it doesn't really go for you.
Yeah.
But for those, you know, who are, that's what I'm referencing.
I think so. Okay, so this person said, it depends on what you mean by flirting and on what kind of relationship you have with your spouse. My rule of thumb is if you'd be comfortable behaving in the same way, even if your husband or wife was watching you, then you're probably okay. While if you never say or do what you're saying or doing, if they witnessed it, you're probably over the line. And I could not agree more.
No, I think that's great.
I think that was wonderfully said.
I think that's great. But she said it depends on your definition of flirting.
It depends, but either way, right? Regardless of your definition, if you're not going to act that way in front of your spouse, then it's not okay. Period.
I mean, sure, but some people just don't care about how their spouse feels.
Okay.
There are those people who are like, yeah, you know, I'll do what I do in public, and then we'll go home and we'll talk about it, but I'm still going to do me.
No.
I mean, I know you're saying no, but there are those people for sure.
Okay, and we're talking about no, like that's not okay.
I hear you, but I'm saying like in regards to that scenario, some people feel comfortable acting a fool in front of their spouse. Even if,
is that what you're saying with their spouse? When we go out in public, regardless of whether or not you're here, I'm gonna act however I want to act.
Yeah.
Well, then I still think that's still a genuine way. Like at the very least, it's genuine.
Yeah, I'll give you that. It's
right?
genuine.
You're not hiding it.
You're not hiding it.
Now, you not caring about how your spouse feels, that's another conversation.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts, actually. But yeah, I definitely get that. If you're willing to do it in front of them and you do care about how they're feeling, you're not hiding it, you're not keeping secrets. Honestly, I'll go for that.
Yeah, I'm not riding with that.
Really?
Yeah, like I'm not going for it. You acting crazy inside the house and outside the house, like.
But I don't think I'm
just because that's who you are. Like, no, I'm not with that.
Why are you equating it to acting crazy?
I'm saying like, well, my scenario was you acting wild, regardless of how your person feels about it. Okay,
but outside of that scenario, because that's extreme.
Oh, well then, yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I think so. But you guys, let us know what you think. Yeah. Like I said, there's definitely two sides to the debate, and I think there are people in between too.
And I would love to hear your in between.
Yeah.
Comments.
Your rationales and your ways of thinking.
Please let me know.
Yeah. All right, so that's it. That's all we had.
Yeah, guys. So once again, I'm Mark.
And I'm Sid.
We are the Raphaels.
All right. See you next week.
Bye.